All right, all right. Oh, go Bucks. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's going on, Rufus? How you feeling? Yeah, big win. Big win. We're definitely gonna get into that. But we're gonna make you wait for just a second because we got to talk about another ACC team falling. Texas handles Clemson 38-24. And viewers I like. Yeah, I like that. But I think more so I realized early the Clemson's run defense was not all it was cracked up to be. They got gashed left and right, man. What do you think about this?
Mhm. I think a lot of it I see is more what Texas offensive line did.
Mm,
They they moved guys left, right, and center. They controlled the pace of the game, did whatever they wanted to do.
yep.
Um, Honestly, I thought Clemson was better against their offensive line pass rushing than run blocking. They got mauled in the run game. There were a couple times where those 101 blocks, you win a couple here and there and you get by and you get the sack, and they had a few of them. But when Texas has that offensive line, and
Mm,
it's the same thing Michigan had last year, where it's guys that have played together for 3, 4, 5 years, and a lot of those guys are gone next year
mhm.
or within the next 2 years, essentially, but are going to be NFL guys as well. So they just did whatever they wanted to in the trenches, imposed their will, that defensive line as well. But yeah, that was my main difference maker in that game. Was Texas was just so much better in the trenches
Mm,
than Clemson, because Klubnik had a good game.
yeah.
He played well, a lot better than I expected him to be honest. But once he settled in and was able to move the ball, he looked in control. So um, it'll be interesting to see if he comes back or not, and some of those other weapons offensively. But yeah, Texas just totally outclassed them in the trenches.
No, no, absolutely. It showed. It showed in the running game. I mean, Clemson only had 76 yards on the ground because that Texas D was. I mean, that D line was massive over there. But on the flip
Yeah,
side, you look at what Texas was able to do on the run game. I mean, they had two guys over 100 yards, and Jaden Blue and Quintravian Winsner. You know what I
and
mean?
each
And
had two
Winsner,
touchdowns.
right? And Winsler was out for a little, for a good portion. I mean, for a little portion of the game when he got hurt. And then, I mean, altogether, they almost had 300 yards on the ground. So, I mean,
Hmm.
obviously, that was a difference. And to your point, I wanted to see what Cade Klubnik can do, and it started getting bad early. And so I remember I turned off for a second and then came back, and then all of a sudden, okay, now we're getting back in the game, and I was
Yeah,
impressed. I was like, okay, all right, Cade, you're doing something. You're getting it. And there was one point where I believe they went for it on that fourth down, and they had an opportunity to maybe put it up to 31, but they couldn't follow through. And you know, hey, it is what it is. That's what happens. We've talked about Clemson and how they, kind of snuck in the back door, winning the
hmm
ACC championship, but they also might have exposed SMU because SMU has not been able to recover since that loss. So,
yeah. And out of the four teams that lost in the first round, you could argue Clemson looked the best,
mhm,
and that was still with Texas looking really good. So
right.
um, I think there's something to be said for Dabo getting them ready for big time games.
Now,
Now they've also got to be able to get ready for the smaller games in the season, handle their business, and they can get to the big games.
mm,
But I mean, at this point, you just hold on, get the conference championship game, win it, you're in anyways. But um, yeah, I think there's something to be said for how well Clemson really played, but yet Texas still controlled them from start to finish.
right, right. And that goes back to what we were talking about the other day. Texas just has some dogs. I
Yeah,
mean, Texas has dogs all over the field, offense and defense. And I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes they'll lean on you, and that, I mean, they impose their will. So hey, shout out to Texas. They will move on. We have to get to wait. Let me say. Did Dabo still thank the good maker in his post game presser?
no idea.
Hey, I didn't watch that. And look, Hoosiers don't count, Alex. They played the Imagine,
Yeah, they got their ass beat by an imaginary team, but okay.
right?